Welcome everybody to Full Throttle Vision. We are back, episode number 11. Jeremy, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, bro?
How was? I see you got a beanie on. What's the weather like in Toledo today?
28 degrees.
Oh, nice. It's
snowing
cold.
out.
It's a chilly 70 something here today. I mean, I almost put a sweatshirt on.
Son of a bitch.
Do you ride much when it's like this? Do you like try and get a lunch ride in or something during the day so it's not so damn cold?
Oh, I was just gonna go out and go for a spin after we did this podcast and it started snowing out. So I'm like, I'll probably just stay in the house.
I know that you're pretty
look at this crazy fucker out. It's 28, 29 degrees. He's out riding. Those are always good videos and pictures to take, even though if you're only out for a half hour. So, you're out there when everybody else is sitting home warm. So you're doing, they're not. Fuck them, but yeah.
And you go around the block and be like, I'm riding. And you just pull back into the garage and be like, that was it. That's enough. That's all I needed.
Yeah, did Les come get his bike finally, or did you take him to it, or what happened?
No, the mistress is still here. I know he's been working.
No shit.
Yeah, it's still here. He left her hanging for a minute, but I know he's got somebody coming to pick it up. So, but again, we want to thank Les for letting us borrow his bike, the Kiriakinson Papi Chulo. He let us borrow his bike, and we did some modifications to it, fixed it up a little bit, took those bungee cords off.
Goes faster. Put a flex capacitor in it. Faster.
What was nice is that I got to ride it there and you got to ride it back. So we actually got to ride to and from Daytona. So we put some miles on his bike and got to enjoy it. Daytona was a good time. Today we are talking with Rich Alvarez. Rich Alvarez is with Red, White, and Back to Blue, I think, or however he calls his new event. Where is Rich at? Rich, where are you at? Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, no, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You're with Peacekeeper Initiative, actually. But what is your event called? I know it was called Red, White, and the Back to Blue.
Yeah, that's correct. Red, White, Back to Blue, Poker Run, and Music Fest.
And why don't you tell us a little bit? Let's start with Peacekeeper Initiative. Yeah, let's start with Peacekeeper Initiative. Tell us about what you're doing with that.
Sure. Well, I'm a retired disabled policeman, and
thank you for your service, first off, because police and fire do not hear that enough. I'm sorry, and I'll be the first to say you guys are the first on the scene of a lot of crap. So thank you for your service.
Absolutely. So I was injured in the line of duty a couple times. A couple times I was nearly killed. I ended up with PTSD. And not too different from veterans. And so when I got diagnosed, my captain said, don't ever tell anybody that again. And it nearly resulted in a successful suicide attempt. So after a lot of years of getting help for that, I noticed that there just weren't any services like there are for veterans with regard to mental health for first responders. So I decided to start the Peacekeeper Initiative. And its aim is to help folks. It's really what I would call an off-ramp. So to prevent people from getting to that point. I mean, we can handle crises. We're trained in that type of crisis intervention. But the biggest thing is peer support. So we take people who've been there, done that, and try to match them up with a local first responder. And then they go out and do some fun stuff like, go fishing or, do something stress relieving like yoga or Tai Chi or, if they want to scuba dive, that's something we can facilitate too.
Oh, that's awesome. It's hard, Rich, to be, we're three guys here. We're all pretty manly men. It's hard to be a person that says, I need help when you need help. And I see what you're saying, because you're put into these situations where we're supposed to be wrenching, biking, police officers, badasses, and then when you go, man, I'm lost, I'm alone, I need help, I need someone to talk to. That's like the weakness that we feel, and it sucks that is a weakness, because it's not. It's needing help and leaning on others to help get you through tough times. Sure. We've all seen them. We've all been there. I mean, I can imagine you said multiple. It's tough. It's tough to say I need help. And it's awesome that you're there.
It really is. Like you said, especially for men, that's true. It's even more so in alpha male cultures like police work or fire work, or even doing as a veteran. The veterans have been on top of this for a little bit, and even the firefighters have been there. I would say they're light years ahead of law enforcement as far as intervening, but still, even it is the number one cause of death. Suicide is for first responders. So there's still a lot of
That's
work to
crazy.
do. Yeah, it
Well,
really
think
is a
about it.
sad.
I
Well,
tried to explain to somebody.
then you
Go
got your
ahead, Jeremy.
superior trying to tell you to ignore it and just put it behind you. Don't mention it again. That's
Well,
bullshit. That's
that's
not how
what
problems get solved.
right. That's what we always did. We call it compartmentalization, and compartmentalization is good, right? You stuff it down for a little bit so that you can deal with the crisis at hand. But if you don't address that later on, and you're stuffing down enough stuff, eventually it's going to pop out somewhere. And oftentimes it's alcoholism, anger, depression, and suicide. And it's really kind of swept under the rug because think about it. If you go as a cop and say, I need help, and a defense attorney finds out about that, right? Now they have ammunition to, maybe attack cases that you've won before because, they could say you
Wow.
weren't in your right mind. And that's the big
How
fear,
far does
right?
this go back? How far does this go
Right,
back? We got to take these cases and bring them up again because we don't
right.
know if you were. Yeah, so it's some kind of that's why they're trying to have you put it in the back burner because they're
Sure,
worried about
sure.
everything that's already complied. You already went through something. It's case closed, but now we got to go back because of this and that. So
Right.
I understand where
In
they're coming from, but on a superior note, though, they should be more there for you than that.
Oh,
There's got
I
to be.
totally agree. They are starting to finally wake up a little bit and realize that, this is a major problem that needs to be addressed. I mean, the human mind just isn't meant to see some of the stuff that they see over a course of
No,
20
that's it.
years, right? So,
That's
I
it.
mean, I
You're
see,
first on the scene. You're first on the scene to an accident. What do you
right,
think you're going to see? When you're
right.
first on the scene to a major wreck, it's. I was as my senior project in high school. I know this goes back a little bit. I rode with the fire department for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and it was every day. I got up and I went there, and it wasn't the 24 on 48 off. I went with them for a week, so I got to see each different crew, and man, we went to an accident and these guys jumped out and just jumped right in and just, they're joking and making their things when this person is bleeding out their ears. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And they're like, yeah, we got it. And I'm like, it's,
Yeah,
I can't, I see it in my head every day and I did it for 2 weeks. Can you
right.
imagine years and years of that? It's,
Exactly.
again,
So,
you guys
yeah, I
don't hear it
mean,
enough, right?
you just you're trained to go in and not even think about it, and you do, and the jokes and stuff, that dark humor helps you get through the moments. You know what I mean? It's certainly not to be disrespectful to people who are deceased or injured. That's not what it's about. But if you didn't lighten it up a little bit, you'd go crazy, like you said, in a week or two. I mean, the very first call I ever saw was I was working for the transit police in Cleveland, and a guy he waited on the CSX train and stepped out in front of one of our trains. It grabbed him by the belt and zipped him open at the waist, and his intestines were hanging
Oh,
out, and he was walking around asking me if he's going to be okay. So that was the very first call I went on. So it kind of set the stage, really for my career. They ended up calling me a shit magnet because it seemed like everything bad that would happen around me.